You can't open a browser these days without seeing some crazy headline about AI. It's either going to save humanity or, end it. But let's talk about something that hits a little closer to home for pretty much all of us, our jobs. The truth is, AI's impact on the workforce is happening way faster than anyone thought. So let's dive in and try to separate the hype from what's really going on. And look, we're not going to start with some vague, far-off prediction. This comes from Dario Amodei, the CEO of the AI company Anthropic. I mean, when one of the guys actually building this stuff makes a statement that stark, you know the stakes are incredibly high. He's not talking about 2050. He's talking about the next 1 to 5 years. That's now. Okay, so to really get a handle on that risk, we've got to look at the other side of the coin. Why are companies jumping on this so fast? Well, honestly, the numbers are just staggering. They're almost impossible for businesses to ignore. This is the AI efficiency boom. Let's just take one area, customer service. Companies that bring in AI are seeing a 45% jump in customer satisfaction. And we're not talking about a tiny little bump here. This is a massive improvement, mostly because AI systems are on the job 24/7 and can spit out answers instantly. Okay, so customers are happier, but what about speed? How about a 77% reduction in the time it takes to solve a customer's problem? I mean, think about the last time you were on hold. Now imagine that wait time just vanishing. From a business perspective, that's not just an edge, it's a total game changer. And this is the number that really gets the C-suite's attention, the one that seals the deal. We're talking about a 300% return on investment inside of 3 years for the top companies using AI. I mean, if you're a CEO and you see a number like that, investing in AI isn't even a question anymore. It's a must-do. So let's just zoom out for a second and look at the whole picture. Wait times getting slashed in half, costs dropping by almost a third, and all of it leads to revenues going up by as much as 25%. This isn't some fleeting tech trend, This is a rock-solid business case, and it's exactly why this AI revolution is moving at lightning speed. Okay, but every story has two sides, right? For every boom, there's a cost. And the incredible power of this technology is creating some very real, very legitimate fear for workers. This isn't the old story about factory robots. This is hitting jobs that for a long time felt safe, the white-collar world. It's a whole new kind of automation anxiety. And sometimes the most honest takes come from places like Reddit. This one comment from a discussion about copywriting jobs it hits the nail on the head. There's this deep fear that the people making the decisions, who are mesmerized by those efficiency numbers we just looked at, are completely ignoring the human cost. Now, here's something that's absolutely crucial to get. This risk is not spread out evenly, not even close. Some jobs are standing right on the fault line. A telemarketer? Over 96% of what they do every day is exposed to AI automation. But then you look at a job like a roofer, a job that requires physical skill, being on a roof, in the elements. AI can't touch that. Not yet anyway. So the impact is incredibly focused. And this isn't just theory. We have data. A pretty startling new study from Stanford looking at actual payroll data shows us exactly who's on the chopping block. In fields that are most exposed to AI, jobs for early career workers have dropped by 13% since 2022. But get this, in that exact same time frame, their more experienced colleagues, their employment actually went up. The message here is crystal clear. It's the new people, the ones just starting out, who are being pushed out right now. And we're not just talking in abstracts here. We're talking about real, skilled careers. Software engineering, customer service, accounting, sales, these are the front lines. A lot of the starter tasks in these fields, the stuff you learn in your first year or two, it's often repeatable, it's data-heavy, and that is exactly what today's AI is incredible at doing. But okay, if we stop the story right there, with just job replacement, we're only getting half the picture. And honestly, it's the less interesting half. The reality is so much more complicated. We're not just seeing job loss. We are seeing a massive job shift. Okay, prepare to have your brain bend a little bit because this is where the whole narrative flips on its head. A study from the Wharton School found something totally wild. The companies that brought in automation, they actually hired more people over time. The jobs that vanished, they were at the other companies, the ones that didn't adapt, fell behind, and couldn't compete anymore. This changes everything. The threat isn't the AI, it's falling behind the curve. Here's a perfect way to see this in action. Let's take a look at the world of finance. Right now, AI is amazing at routine stuff like bookkeeping or processing payroll, but it's not getting rid of the finance professional. It's actually freeing them up to do the more important work, like strategy, interpreting what the AI finds, and managing complex risks. So the job isn't gone, not at all. It's elevated, it's transformed. And that's the core idea right there. That's job transformation. It's not about being replaced by the machine, it's about your job being rebuilt around the machine. Your value is no longer about doing the repetitive stuff. It's about all the things the machine can't do: strategy, creative problem solving, and making those tough judgment calls. And just when you think you have it figured out, here's another curveball from that same Wharton study. This disruption isn't just about low skill versus high skill. In fact, one of the biggest impacts is on middle managers. Why? Because AI and robotics can monitor workflows so precisely that you just don't need as many human supervisors. So the classic career ladder, where you start at the bottom and work your way up to manager, that's getting seriously shaken up. So we've got this massive disruption on our hands. It's a threat, for sure, but it's also a huge opportunity. So the big question is, how do we deal with it? How do we adapt? Well, the response seems to be coming from two main directions: new policies and regulations, and smart business strategies and reskilling. One of the biggest problems we have right now is that we're kind of flying blind. When companies have layoffs because of AI, they often use vague words like restructuring. And you can't make smart policy without good data. So naturally, there's a big push for transparency. And this isn't just talk. This push for transparency is actually turning into proposed legislation. There's a bipartisan bill in the US Congress called the AI-Related Job Impacts Clarity Act. Basically, it would make companies come clean about how they're using AI. No more hiding behind vague corporate speak. They'd have to report how many jobs were lost, what new jobs were created, and what they're actually doing to retrain people. And then there's the business side of things. Adapting here means being really smart and strategic about it. It's not about just plugging in some AI tool and hoping for the best. It's about having a real plan, figuring out where AI can help the most, setting clear goals, and then constantly tracking how it's going. So you see, this isn't just a tech checklist. It's a blueprint for a responsible transition, one that's about more than just cutting costs. It's about redefining roles and reinvesting in your people. Which brings us to the bottom line, the one big takeaway from all of this. This wave of change is already here. It's happening. So for professionals, for leaders, for all of us, the question isn't if AI is going to impact our work anymore. The real question for all of us now is, how are we going to shape its impact? How are we going to adapt, innovate, and make sure this powerful tool works for us, not against us?